Seconds in, Nick Van Exel cans the first basket of the night.
And that's exactly what they want to do tonight, is score quickly.
Trap in the backcourt. Here's Charles Oakley for the Knicks. And we're tied at 2.
You know, it's amazing. We can do a million Knicks games, and Charles Oakley is still wide open. People just don't think he can make that shot, and he always does.
Quick check of the starting lineups for the Lakers. They've got Nick Van Exel and Eddie Jones in the backcourt. Here is Robert Horry, the heavier version of Robert Horry, gained a few pounds from a year ago. And he is joined by Rick Fox and Shaquille O'Neal, who is back in the lineup.
And I really liked the move of bringing Elton Campbell off the bench and using Horry at power forward.
Allen Houston for the Knicks. And we're tied at 4. Nice entry pass to Robert Horry. Shaquille O'Neal with the assist, and it's a 6-4 Laker lead.
And that's why you like Horry, because he can do all the little things. He understands his role at the power forward spot. People forget the 2 championship years with Houston. That's where Horry was at power forward.
Charlie Ward, Allen Houston, Oakley, Larry Johnson, and now Patrick Ewing with his first shot of the night. Rebound, Rick Fox. Fox takes it all the way. Short, Ewing with a rebound. New York wants to run. Here's Charlie Ward, 3-on-3 alley-oop. Johnson wasn't ready for it. Turnover, New York. They have been suffering with turnovers again this season, though only 11 last night. From the corner for 3, no. And Ewing clears it. Quick outlet pass to Ward. Ward gets rid of it to Oakley. Off the mark, Robert Horry.
Didn't want to shoot it. He didn't want that one, and that's why he didn't make it.
Left side to Eddie Jones. Win over Sacramento. And the feed back to Horry. Foul is called.
Wow. I think that was one of those anticipated fouls that sometimes refs make. That looked like a really nice block. But I tell you right now, and Jeff Van Gundy said it before the game, it's transition D. And you can see right here, the Knicks are being beat down the court. And if they are, the Lakers are great in the open court.
22nd timeout call by Jeff Van Gundy and the Knicks. They come in with a 3-1 record. They lost at home to Detroit. Van Gundy said we played very well for 3 quarters, and then Grant Hill took over the game. But subsequent to that, a 32-point win over Boston, and last night a very impressive 30-point victory at Phoenix.
Yeah, when you look at the Knicks, you think, you know, everyone talks about Chicago, what we were talking about earlier, Vern, about age. When you look at the Knicks, the oldest team in the NBA, and yet they're trying to win their first title of recent years, and yet Chicago is too old. You know, that's what you hear. So last night they showed the Knicks did it. They're not that old. They ran with Phoenix.
105-75 the victory last night, and the first of their 19 back-to-backs this season.
Yeah, and there's some age right there. Herb Williams and Buck Williams. That's some age.
Both in their 17 years at the line, Robert Horry.
You know, Buck was in college when I was in high school. He's still playing. I've played, and I'm sitting over here now.
One more.
If you look at Robert Horry, and he has gained weight, and he really is a small forward, but I think he's a better player at the power forward spot. He got used to that in Houston, and playing off SHAQ with his athletic ability is really going to help him. The Lakers want to run more this year, and they can run with SHAQ, especially with Horry at power forward. It helps their transition D, it helps them in the entire game, and it helps Elton Campbell because he can be a scorer when he comes off the bench.
Elton Campbell, of course, will come off the bench tonight because of the return of O'Neal. Dale Harris said they will play both of them a little bit. And there's the rebound in the hands of Eddie Jones. Mentioned he had career-high 35 in the win at Sacramento with 14 of 17. So much for trade rumors for him.
Yeah, he's leading the league in scoring. Made the All-Star team last year, and everyone says he'll be traded.
First basket for Shaquille O'Neal. And a 6-0 Los Angeles run. Larry Johnson posting up Eddie Jones. The double comes from Horry. Ball rotation right side. Penetration from Charlie Ward. Rejected by O'Neal. 5 on the shot clock. And another turnover for the Knicks. Here comes Fox, feeds it left side. Van Exel cleaned away by Allen Houston.
That was an athletic play in his own right.
Back to Houston from Oakley, who sets the pick. Allen Houston, reverse up and under, it's good.
And Allen Houston just did two things that people don't know him for. Blocking shots, defense, and driving to the basket. He is a terrific athlete also.
And he picks up Eddie Jones now out on the perimeter. 8:30 to go in the opening quarter. Foul away from the ball. Our officiating crew tonight, Tommy Nunez, Jack Nees, and Scott Foster. That one called on Charlie Ward, number 21, his first.
Yeah, it was a mini version of Shaq and Patrick. Ward and Van Exel were tangling underneath.
Well, that is a mini version. There's Van Exel. Ward with the forearm. Spin move by O'Neal. Got the touches.
You can see, you know, Shaq has talked about it over the summer. He really worked on his game, his jump shooting to give him better touch. So far, he's had touch shots to go in.
That one might be overruled. It is. Yep. Tommy Nunez made the call in favor of the Lakers. Scott Foster came over and said, I had a better view of it. It was touched last by O'Neal.
Take a look here. Shaq just he put it on the rim and lets the ball fall in. That is good touch from Shaq.
Charlie Ward, who's starting now in place of Chris Childs, though he doesn't play as many minutes as Childs. And Ewing with a long, soft jumper.
And that's what he really has to do. He really has a tough time with Shaq because Shaq is much bigger and quicker than Ewing. So Ewing taking him away from the bucket using his jump shot is a good move.
12-8 Laker lead. Van Exel feeds Jones. Quick shot. Off the mark into the hands of Ewing. Here comes Ward. Fox and slip. Oakley takes the jumper.
And see, he wanted that one. It's funny. He had the exact same shot and hesitated. That time he caught the shot and he makes it.
4 points for Oakley. And a 2-point Laker lead. Jones. Nice give and go. Pick and roll with Ori. And the feed to Van Exel. Oakley battles for the board over Eddie Jones. Ward finds Houston. And Ewing, as Fox knocks it out of bounds, it will be New York's ball.
And I think we should make mention, you can see the difference with Chris Childs and Charlie Ward in the game. Chris Childs is a guy, a guard who thinks shot first. With Ward, the Knicks really run. Jeff Van Gundy said, we run way more than you think. Ward has 3 assists already in this game, and that's why Allen Houston and Larry Johnson benefit with him in the game.
That one, Charles made a visit, and I hope, you okay?
You all right?
Charles Oakley came by and said hello before the game began. And now he's come by and seen us again. How you doing, Doc?
I was doing pretty well here.
I was afraid he was going to get a Charlie horse. Oakley can't help but smile. Here's what it looked like from our perspective. There's Oakley. That's Doc Rivers, who's ducking.
Yes, I've been known for that. Well, you know, he said he didn't like my clothes, and so he just did something about it, Charles.
Oh, a little cleanup duty going on. The Oak.
And I thought this broadcasting was a non-contact sport.
Offensive foul is called. As our cleanup duties. You settle down? You doing fine?
Yeah, I'm all right. I was going to take a charge.
Dry cleaning bill will be legit this time out.
So far tonight, we've seen Shaquille O'Neal score 2 field goals close to the basket. But before the night is over, look for an expanded game from the SHAQ attack after a new regimen was added to his off-season workouts.
Well, actually, this was the first summer I shot the basketball. And when I say shot the basketball, that just means shoot, like free throw line extended. When you talk about my summer workouts, me being the big man, it was always jump hooks, jump hook, drop step left, drop step right, little baby hook, sky hook, little fadeaway. But this was the first summer that I had to really teach myself how to shoot again. So I think my touch is going to be a lot softer around the basket.
And I think that's significant because you hear more criticism about Shaq, about doing the movies, doing the rap videos. People don't think that he works on his game, and each year he's brought something back. So that's good for people to hear him actually say, I do work.
Ewing with a baseline jumper off the feet of Johnson. And here come the Lakers again. 12-10, they're up by 2. O'Neal into the hands of Van Exel. They'll work the left side now. The entry pass to O'Neal, and Oakley comes with a double team.
Wow. Well, I guess there's more work needed. That's actually soft. You can see here, you know, SHAQ is so big. He's being double teamed by Patrick Ewing and Oakley, and he still gets an easy shot. Not a good shot, but an easy shot.
No, it wasn't, and it wasn't pretty. Now the jump ball after the ball lodged between the rim and the backboard. Ewing gets it in the hands of Charlie Ward.
Stole
it. Yeah, he did.
He really did.
Got that one on the way up.
And got away with it.
6:15 to go in the opening quarter. Ward to Houston. Eldon Campbell. Ewing.
I'll tell you what, if Patrick Ewing is allowed to get that deep, he's going to have a great game tonight.
Backed in with ease.
He did.
A 6-0 New York run now. Here's O'Neal. Ewing and Oakley work on him. Fox open for the jumper. No. Chased down and saved. Nope. Eldon Campbell getting ready to make his first appearance of the night now. Bill Harris said they would like to limit O'Neal's minutes to about 25 tonight.
Yeah, and you can see on that last play. First, one thing people, when you miss a lot of games, your defense is not as good as it should be also. Everyone talks about offense. There's also defensive timing. SHAQ let Ewing get that way too deep. And once again, SHAQ's not in. But if he gets the ball there all night, Patrick Ewing is going to have a great game. He shoots the ball too well to catch the ball that deep.
Nice pass by Oakley. And Ewing, the foul is on Robert Horry, and Patrick Ewing goes to the free throw line.
You know, you watch the Knicks right now. They are pushing the ball up. They're getting to their offense extremely quick right now.
Jeff Van Gundy, second full season, third year as the head coach of the New York Knicks. Younger than a couple of his players.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Looks older, though.
Yeah, he does. It's the hair.
Campbell, nice pass. Ah, Fox can't convert. And here comes Charlie Ward. Gets the screen from Oakley, back to Oakley for the jumper. And Oakley with 3 quick baskets now from 15, 18.
Yeah, all wide open. All wide open. Each year it seems like he extends it about another foot further out.
Oakley 3 of 4 with 6 points. And the Knicks are up. A 10-0 New York run. Campbell. Offensive foul on Eldon Campbell.
That's the other thing, Charles Oakley. Every game he gets a charging foul. He is the best at that. And, you know, it's funny when they put in the new rule with the line, people were saying teams like the Knicks, teams like Miami would not draw as many. They're still drawing them. They're just getting a step further out to get them. It's called hustle.
Van Exel picks up Ward. Here's Larry Johnson deep in the post, up and under move, and he's got 2 more.
And he's playing really well this year. I think he's comfortable. Last year he really tried to fit in. This year he's playing basketball.
A 12-0 New York Knicks run. And Oakley collides on the baseline. Foul is on Larry Johnson. That's the 3rd team foul, the first personal on Larry Johnson.
Yeah, you look at Larry Johnson right here. That's his patented up and under move. He's really getting into his move, his shots. I think he's comfortable, and he's going to be a big help for this team this year.
Lakers have called a 22nd timeout now. Trying to figure out how to halt this spurt by the New York Knicks.
And what's unusual, it's a Knicks run. And that's what they're doing. They're running. They are actually beating the Lakers up and down the court right now. And the Knicks played last night. They played a team that runs the ball.
Next week on Turner Sports, we tip it off on Tuesday night. Doc and I will be in Minnesota for a really interesting matchup. The San Antonio Spurs and the Minnesota Timberwolves. That's Tuesday night. On Wednesday night, the same New York Knicks go into Toronto to take on the Raptors. That's on TBS. And a week from tonight, the Lakers are in Houston to take on the Rockets. That's next week's schedule on Turner Sports.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's going to be an interesting game, Timberwolves and Spurs.
Van Exel guarded by Charlie Ward. Fox. Here's Campbell, who backs in, takes the jumper over Ewing for 2, and that stops the run.
And that's the other reason Dale Harris likes Campbell on the bench coming in the game. He says we play the same way for 48 minutes instead of keep changing ways to fit our players.
Campbell plays Ewing straight up, and Ewing misfires on the shot. 18-14 ball game. Van Exel off the dribble, back to Campbell. Oakley clears it. Long outlet pass for Ewing, and it was too short. Knicks get it back. Houston for 3. No, off the front iron. Van Exel. Oakley was there. Kick it outside to Eddie Jones, and now Rick Fox, open jumper, takes it and gets it.
That's why they brought him here, because of his jump shooting ability. He's not shot as well as they want him from the 3, but I think he will. He's still getting adjusted also to new players.
Fox, first basket of the night. Here's Oakley. That one rims out. Ewing misses the putback.
Nonchalant at that one. It was too easy for him. He thought he had an easy drop in.
Rick Fox, back to Van Exel. Campbell in and out. Oakley for New York.
But you can see the Lakers playing the same way. You get it to Campbell or you get it to Shaquille O'Neal, and you just play basketball. Same way.
Timeout call by the Knicks. We'll be back in L.A. in a moment.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. Check out the finish in Houston. Charles Barkley with his team down by 1. Inbounds, gets it back, and is right there in short off the front of the rim. And Portland comes back to beat Houston 86-85. The Blazers win it by 1 at Houston's Compaq Center. Rudy Tomjanovich reaching for the Control-Alt-Delete button. We go back to the forum, guys.
All right, EJ. Elsewhere around the league in the West, Michael Finley with Dallas, off to a nice start. Tim Duncan in San Antonio.
Yeah.
And Ben Baker.
And Ben Baker. Ben Baker has big shoes to fill, and he's doing a pretty good job at it right now.
Well, Van Gundy has gone to his bench, and the new guys are in. Chris Dudley, Chris Mills are in the lineup, and Chris Childs, new a year ago, is also on the floor, and Kobe Bryant, the 19-year-old, has made his first appearance in the game. He joins Derek Fisher and Corey Blunt. So, as they used to say, whole-scale changes.
Yes,
bunches. Here's Dudley. Over Campbell. Campbell, nice defensive job. Kobe Bryant takes the jumper. A week ago tonight, he led the Lakers to a win over Utah with 23 points.
I watched that, and he was sensational. But, you know, he's 19 years old, and he's going to have a season where he's going to have great games and bad games. That's called being 19 years old.
Allen Houston, the rotation comes from Corey Blunt as he goes toward the basket. And Rick Fox picks up the foul as Blunt came over to help. That's the first foul on Rick Fox.
And Allen Houston is really being aggressive right now. That's what Jeff Van Gundy told him. You have to stay aggressive for us this year. You know, he had basically reconstructive wrist surgery over the summer. He's still struggling with it. He can't follow through all the way. But Van Gundy said, we're going to keep you in there. We want you to keep shooting. And he's doing it. He still is a great shooter, even with half the motion.
Gets the free throw. Van Gundy telling us this morning, if he had an ankle injury and you saw him limp, you'd know he wasn't 100%. But because it's a wrist injury, you don't see the lack of a follow-through, and you would think he's okay.
Yeah, and he said he's getting a lot of heat because he's not putting up great numbers yet like he did at the end of last year.
Houston with 6 points. And the Knicks lead by 4. Rick Fox. Derek Fisher finds Elton Campbell. Nice quick move. Dudley comes to help. A couple of elbows were thrown in the paint. John Starks now on for Allen Houston. Winner of the 6th Man of the Year award last year.
And really playing well this year. He really struggled in preseason. Van Gundy said basically he was off. Oh, great pass.
Derek Fisher finds Corey Blunt all alone.
And what a great pass by Fisher. But he's picked it up, John Starks, in the regular season, and that's a veteran. Veterans hate preseason.
Starks off the mark. Derek Fisher clears it for Los Angeles. They can tie or take the lead on this possession. 1:25 to go in the first half. Here's Campbell off the dribble. My goodness.
He's come to play. He looks good himself. I tell you, when you look on the floor, there's some talent out on this basketball floor, and this is the second unit.
Oakley to Starks. Chris Mills. 2 more for the Knicks. Foul called on Chris Childs. Let's take a look at that quick first step from Eldon Campbell a moment ago.
Yeah, and Dudley is an athlete. You look at him, you don't think so, but he's an athlete. That's an awful quick move by Campbell to get around him that easy.
15th foul on New York here in the first quarter. So Derek Fisher, second-year man from Arkansas Little Rock, goes to the free throw line.
And you know, you look at Derek Fisher. No one heard of him 2 years ago. Jerry West finds him. Yeah, he finds him every year. When they drafted Van Exel, people moved. They didn't think Nick Van Exel. They saw him in Cincinnati, but they didn't think he'd be a good pro basketball player. Same thing with Eddie Jones.
Eddie Jones back on the floor now, and Rick Fox will get a rest. There's Jerry West.
Now, he's made so many great moves. Kobe Bryant, he traded Bloody Divac to get an 18-year-old high school player. People question that. They don't question that anymore either.
Had a lot of conversation here in the West Coast in the LA area. Jerry West saying that he plans to chuck it when the current contract under which he's working is complete.
Yeah, and that'd be a bad day for basketball because he's really good. He's not only was he a great player, he's a great GM, great everything.
Kobe Bryant, after Starks gets the basket, Kobe Bryant with the answer.
He has so many tools. Yeah, he's just fun to watch because you know when he's in, he's going to try something. And that's good and bad.
24-23. Starks. Blunt for Los Angeles. And there's about 5/10 of a second difference in the shot clock and the game clock.
You'll see the Lakers here, hopefully, try to get the last shot.
Fisher. Up and under, rebound short. We will have free throws.
Foul number 14, Chris Dudley.
That was a strong move. And you can see here, once he commits to the basket, he knows he's going to get fouled. He didn't really think he was going to make that shot, but he made sure that he was going to be on the foul line.
Dudley's second foul since Fisher to the line. We're tied. Laker lead. Now Childs. Oh my goodness.
Looked good from here.
Yes, it did. We've reached the end of one. Oakley strong early. Hit his first 3 of 4. New York had a 12-0 run to take the lead, but the Lakers came back. And at the end of the first at the Forum in Inglewood, Lakers lead.
You know, a lost start in the NBA is good picking. Look at this here. Corey Blunt sets one great one, and look at the results. Here's a pick here. He sets it here, and then he goes back to do it again. Right here. Charles Oakley is going to read it. Blunt slips it. Great pass from Fisher. Easy dunk. Picking.
Welcome back as we start quarter number 2. John Starks, quick move off the dribble, fouled underneath by Eddie Jones. Second foul on Eddie Jones. And we'll set the lineup for you. Chris Mills, Chris Dudley, Oakley, Starks, and Chris Childs on the floor for the Knicks.
I don't think Oakley's been out of the game, has he? You know, that tells you what Jeff Van Gundy is trying to limit the guys on his team. They have so much talent. Earlier, he was trying to play 10 and 11 guys. Now he's down to 8 guys.
And Buck Williams did not play in the game last night in Phoenix. He may be one of those whose minutes will be limited. Here's Oakley. Tries to save it, can't. Laker ball.
New rule in effect right there. He wanted to call a timeout. He was falling out of bounds. He thought about the rule, and he lost the ball.
Fisher will inbound. Eddie Jones. Bryant, that's a man-sized three.
Yeah, that is. He got 4 points if he made that one.
Kobe Bryant. Back outside to Derek Fisher. Blunt. Kobe Bryant calls for it, gets it. Does not get the roll. Rebound Oakley. Starks.
In between shot. That's a tough shot.
Back to Starks from Childs. Two. Nope. Yes.
Wow. Good touch. Nice touch. The Knicks are really pushing the ball up the court right now.
New York has a quick western swing. They were in Phoenix last night. Game here tonight, the first of two this season with the Lakers, and then they stay over and go up to Sacramento for a game Sunday night. Oakley, well, he's made it a habit of going toward people tonight.
Yeah, he really has, but that's how he plays. He's reckless. He just goes out and plays as hard as he can. He's gotten all kinds of deflection and touches tonight.
5 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Early moments, second quarter. Bryant. Falling down. Blunt and Oakley battle for the rebound. 5 rebounds for Charles Oakley. Chris Childs weaves his way in. Back to Oakley. Ah, nice pass. Dudley for 2.
Yeah, and you have to read your scouting report. If Chris Dudley's going to make a layup, you have to put him on the foul line. He's a horrible free throw shooter.
Yeah, they make a lot of Shaquille. We've got a couple of real gems at the free throw line here tonight.
It's hard hat day.
There's a steal. Starks back to Childs. Offensive foul.
Wow. Derek Fisher. What a heads-up play. And John Starks is trying to say that he was in the box, and it was close. But what a heads-up play by Fisher. But you can see him clearly out of the box. I don't know if I give him a charge for that. He was there. The ball was gone.
Now Fisher picked up by Childs. 28-25. Traveling call. Robert Horry back in the lineup. And Shaquille O'Neal has come back on the floor as well. Second appearance tonight, having started the game. O'Neal. 9:33 to go, first half. Childs. Oakley. O'Neal with a rebound. Kobe Bryant comes up, picked up by John Starks. Dudley has Shaquille O'Neal. Chris Mills will guard Horry, and Oakley's on Blunt. Double team comes from Mills. O'Neal goes baseline. In and out. Oakley. And we want to welcome those of you who are watching the game tonight in Canada on TSN.
Shaq is so big. Triple team there, and he still got his shot off.
Chris Childs off the Oakley screen.
And he's the other one. I think he's going to have a nice year also because he's comfortable coming off the bench. He can now look for his shot when he wants to. They want him to do that now.
Starks defending Kobe Bryant. Wow. O'Neal gets the offensive board. Ouch.
First, the quickness of the young fella is amazing, and then the power of O'Neal.
Back to a three-point game. Oakley quick left side to John Starks. Low pick and roll with Chris Dudley. Starks takes the shot from the corner and cans it.
That's a tough shot with big Shaquille in your face. But you knew he was shooting it.
6-point Nick Lee. Starks has 7 points for the night. That one out of bounds off John Starks. Let's go take a look at that Kobe Bryant move and the Shaquille putback.
I mean, that's one heck of a first step. And then look at the power here. If he gets up and he's around, Shaq's going to get it. And if he's under there, that's a high percentage shot.
Van Exel back on the floor for Derek Fisher. Nice quality time on the floor.
Yes.
For Fisher.
That's what they want out of him, to give some quality minutes, give Van Exel. They really don't want to play Van Exel more than 30 minutes this year also. He's having a knee problem, and they want to rest him as much as possible.
As Childs picks up Van Exel. Starks. Now O'Neal, the double team from Oakley. Ori out on the perimeter, back into O'Neal at the shot clock. And did we get a foul before the shot clock violation? We did. Charles Oakley called for the foul just before the shot clock went.
And it was a good call, because he did get hacked. The thing with Shaq, he's so big, it doesn't look like he's been hit that hard.
Ori from Kobe Bryant. O'Neal. Oakley clears it after the shot. Here's Starks. Flying basket right side. The tip from Dudley is good.
And you saw two guys. That's what Mills can do, is run the court, and Dudley can also. He attacks the basket. He doesn't score with moves. He scores with effort.
And an 8-point New York lead now. We're going to get John Starks again. That's his second.
Now, this is a big guy. You see John Starks and Chris Childs running, and then Mills, but the big guy who does the follow right here is Dudley. That's really nice. He's called a trailer on that one, and he trailed very well.
Rick Fox inbounds to Van Exel. Kick it back to Rick Fox again from Shaquille O'Neal. He finds Ori, who is fouled.
Mills adapting to the New York style of defense pretty quickly, huh, Bern?
Well, Chris Mills has his hands on his hips, and he's yelling at John Starks. So I'm not sure what that's about. And Childs is out having a small conversation with Starks.
I didn't see what happened either.
No, I didn't either. But Mills started yapping at him right away.
But that's nice to see Mills do that. He's a new guy. Usually new guys won't do that. They'll see something wrong and just won't say anything because they don't want to step on anyone's toes. That's really mature of a young player, Mills, to do something like that to a guy, John Starks, who's been here for years.
Robert Ori at the free throw line. Van Gundy's going to go to his bench, and he comes out to chat with Starks. Chris Dudley is out.
Yeah, and it obviously was Starks' fault. You saw Childs talk to him, Van Gundy talk to him, and Mills yell at him.
Oakley in 17 minutes with 6 points. Ori with one more free throw. 35-29. Ori with 8 points. So it's Mills and Childs. Larry Johnson's back on the floor, so also is Ewing. And he's picked up by Shaquille O'Neal. Oh, my goodness. 5 on the shot clock. Johnson tries the up and under, then travels.
I'll tell you, Shaq just waited for that. You know, Patrick Ewing has that patented turnaround jump shot. It's a tough shot with Patrick Ewing in your face, or with the Shaquille O'Neal in your face. I mean, you can see right here, he was waiting for it the whole time. And when you're that big, that's an easy shot to block.
Patrick is one of the greatest centers to ever play the game. When I was coming up, Patrick Ewing was my favorite player. Georgetown. Matter of fact, when I saw him playing Georgetown, I was kind of saying to myself, I want to be like him, and that's why I took 33 in high school and in college. Patrick Ewing, Kareem, guys like that. But he's a great player, and whenever I go up against somebody great, it brings the best out of me. And, you know, we might throw bowls and, you know, talk noise, but off the court, me and Patrick, we have a pretty good relationship.
And they're having at each other tonight, and O'Neal wins that battle.
And that's what you like.
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong with looking up to a guy and him being your, you idolizing him. But then when you get on the court, you have to attack him. And that's what Shaq does. He has a little bit of that Michael Jordanish in him, and that's good.
Shaquille with 8 points now. 6:05 to go in the first half. Larry Johnson gets 2 for the Knicks. And quickly the Lakers move it across midcourt back to Ori. Van Exel finds Shaquille. And he finds Ori, who is fouled by Chris Mills.
Foul number 42, Chris Mills.
You watch the Lakers this year and last year. The difference is the ball movement. They're pushing the ball up the court. Last year, it was so much newness on this team. I don't think guys really figured out how to play the game. Right now, they understand first Shaq's going to get the rebound. He's going to give us a long outlet pass. We're going to push it up. If we can't score, we'll give it back to Shaq. I think everybody on this team is now starting to figure out their roles.
I would assume you are one of those who think the Lakers are one of the favorites to win the West.
Yes, yes. Just look at the talent. Now, talent is not everything. You need experience also, and that's the negative against the Lakers. Experience in the NBA usually is more important than talent, but every once in a while, there comes a team so talented, it overrides experience. This might be a case here.
I find it staggering. The Lakers are not the youngest team in the league. They're 4th youngest, but they do not have a player on the roster who is 30 years of age or older. Not one. The oldest player is Eldon Campbell at 29.
And the Knicks' average age is 32.
Right. Little runner from Chris Childs. Average age, look, almost 7-year difference between the two. The playoff games you see on the left. And 5 players with 10 or more years for the Knicks.
And those are good numbers for the Knicks. I think those numbers alarm you if you're a Laker fan, because that's what scares me watching the Laker team. As talented as they are, the playoffs is a game where it takes a lot of thinking, a lot of experience. They lack that. But again, they don't lack talent.
Nick Bench. And Chris Childs back at the free throw line.
You know, you look at the coaches, it seems like Van Gundy should be coaching the Lakers. And Dale Harris, but no, age isn't everything. You don't have to be the oldest guy around to be the leader of your company or your team.
Dale Harris in his 13th season in coaching the NBA, his 4th here in Los Angeles. They have increased their victory margin every year. And there's O'Neal with 2 more. He's in double digits now in his first game of this season.
And he's doing things that we aren't used to see him doing. That tells you he has been working on his game.
Ori picks up Johnson way out near midcourt. Now here's Patrick Ewing. Takes it over Shaquille. No. And out of bounds, it'll be Laker ball.
But that's what he's going to have to do, face up. If Patrick Ewing is going to get off in the post, he really needs to face up. And look at Shaq here. This is putting the ball on the floor, 1 dribble, a spin move off the glass. Nice touch, quick move.
Now he's in the low post, waiting for the pass from Rick Fox. Double team comes from Larry Johnson. Van Exel makes him pay. That's inside the line for 2.
Bill Harris is really high on Van Exel this year. He thinks he's matured. They are on the same page. Van Exel understands now what the coach wants him to do, and I think he's going to do it.
Another Knick turnover. Chris Mills was fouled as he went for the ball, and Tommy Nunez caught the infraction.
Good eyes, because I didn't see it.
Third team foul. Kobe Bryant's first foul of the ball game. Allen Houston back on the floor now for the Knicks. John Starks will get a rest. Here's the pick and roll with Ewing. 4:25 to go before the halftime break. Nice pump fake. Houston in and out. Mills is fouled as he goes up for the rebound on the shot.
And it reminds you of what Van Gundy told us this morning. He said no one talks about Chris Mills as a rebounder because he's a great shooter. He said he is a really good rebounder, and he'll be good for our team because we have Ewing on the court. He'll be able to rebound even better.
First foul on Shaquille O'Neal sends Chris Mills to the free throw line. Eddie Jones back on for Kobe Bryant for the Los Angeles Lakers.
keep hearing the Mitch Richmond rumor going to San Antonio, going to the Lakers. And you look at Eddie Jones, and you really hope he can stay here and grow with this team. He is a terrific basketball player.
Eddie Jones had that 14 of 17 night in the face of those rumors in Sacramento the other night. Now Allen Houston picks him up. Yeah, fresh set of rumors today, right?
Yeah, you hear new ones every day.
O'Neal, short, tipped out by Ori. Fox spots up, gets the ball, makes the three-pointer. Well, there's a little luck at times.
Yes.
Mills, off the glass, Fox rebound.
And that was just the presence of SHAQ.
Lakers with a chance to regain the lead. Van Exel comes back, finds Eddie Jones. O'Neal, that one's blocked by Johnson and Ewing. Eldon Campbell comes on the floor, and Shaquille O'Neal will rest.
And this is what they want Fox to do is make threes, and he did it there. He clapped for himself after that one. I know you're wondering why Shaq went out of the game. They really want to limit him to 24 minutes due to the injury, the stomach injury. And obviously, Dale Harris at this time did not want to take him out.
Ewing gets the miss of the Eddie Jones shot. Here's Chris Childs. Chris Mills. Quickly left side, and the entry pass is Ewing is now guarded by Eldon Campbell. Got it.
Big difference. He can bump Eldon Campbell, get his turnaround jump shot, and make it. Shaq, it's tough to bump.
Jumper, Van Exel, 3 points.
The minute Shaq goes out of the game, Van Exel takes a shot. That's not a coincidence.
Timeout called by the New York Knicks. And time comes with 2:54 to go first half. We are tied at 43.
The NBA on TNT is brought to you by EA Sports, makers of NBA Live 98 for Sony PlayStation, Sega Saturn, and your PC. If it's in the game, EA Sports, it's in the game.
EJ back at you from Atlanta. Bill Hanslick in Denver desperately seeking that first win. They're down by 2 against Utah. Brian Stith for the tie and a chance to go to OT, and now they're 0-4 instead. The Nuggets fall at home. Utah's been struggling, but they prevail. They are now 2-3, 91-89 the final. Mailman delivered with 20, and we go back to L.A., guys.
All right, EJ, but my goodness, do they miss John Stockton.
Yeah, they really do. And what they have to do is win games like that. They're going to lose to teams right now who can compete on their level like last year. They need to beat the teams that they should beat, and they did it tonight.
Eddie Jones picks up his 3rd foul here in the first half.
You can see Eddie Jones motioning to Dale Harris. Leave me in right now. And I guarantee you Dale Harris, yeah, you can see the expression, ignoring him, and he should.
Yep.
They need him in the second half. And every player does that. Every player wants to stay on the court. There's been many times I'd look at a coach and say, Coach, don't worry, I won't get another foul. And in 2 seconds, I've picked up the 4th or 5th or 6th foul. You can't trust the player on the court if he's talking about fouls.
So Jones, exasperated, sits. Larry Johnson tries another free throw, and Kobe Bryant is back on the floor.
Yeah, he's mad at Dale Harris, but when he looks in the mirror tonight, he knows that Dale Harris will have done the right thing.
Bryant, Van Exel, Ori, Eldon Campbell, and Rick Fox on the floor for the Lakers now. Oakley, Houston, Ewing, Childs, and Larry Johnson for the Knicks. Van Exel. A wrestling match with Chris Childs. And Jack Nees is going to call the foul on Chris Childs, who thought he had gotten away with the block.
Yeah, he did. And we were blocked out, really. It looked like, wow. That's a tough call, because you can say he crossed and reached over his arms, or you can say he had all ball. And it really depended on where the positioning of the referees were on that call. Obviously, each ref had a different sight.
So Van Exel goes to the free throw line. The Lakers dead last year shooting free throws in the NBA. They're at 75% for the season this year, 10 of 11 tonight now. The qualifier, of course, is Shaquille O'Neal hasn't been to the free throw line yet this season.
And that's why they were dead last year, because Shaq goes to the line as much as anybody in the NBA.
45 all. Patrick Ewing for 2 for New York. Here comes Van Exel for the Lakers.
The Knicks are really handling the ball well, which is unusual. Jeff Van Gundy, and you look at him, he said, we are who we are. We are a bad ball-handling basketball team.
Oh, what a shot by Campbell. Wow. That required a little touch.
Yes, it did. And luck.
Yes. Only 5 turnovers for New York tonight. They had only 11 last night. And here is Chris Giles for 2. They were haunted by turnovers last season. Better than 18 per game. They've been over 20 in the first 3 games this season. Here's Kobe Bryant with a runner. Nope. And here comes New York running as well. Giles. Foul is going to be called on Van Exel. Well, coming up on the Nike halftime report, the Bulls-Hawks went down to the wire. Atlanta wins it. You'll see the highlights. The Nets try to stay undefeated. That's the New Jersey Nets.
Say that again?
The New Jersey Nets.
Wow.
Bob Hill joins EJ in the studio back in Atlanta on the Nike halftime report.
And they are playing great. You look at it, they have some talent on that basketball team. And what everyone has said about this team is the Nets is it doesn't fit. They have a lot of talent, but they don't play together. Well, they're playing together right now.
Giles back at the line. Speaking of Nets, and former.
I think he's happy in what he has on.
Listen, for what they paid him?
Yes, I guess that's true. He's happy anywhere.
He got a smile every time he walks out of the door.
He does.
1:30 to go first half. Van Exel takes the shot, and Childs picks up the foul.
Bad shot, but smart shot on Van Exel. He knew he could draw a foul. He got it, and he's going to the line, and Childs has to go out of the game.
That's his 3rd foul, so he goes to the bench, and Charlie Ward will come back on the floor. Van Exel goes to the free throw line. Van Exel gets the first. Well, next Tuesday night, I hope you'll join Doc and me in Minneapolis as the San Antonio Spurs take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Wednesday night, these Knicks are in Toronto on TBS. And then a week from tonight, the Lakers, they complete that Texas trilogy. They've got Dallas, Houston, San Antonio on the road next week. And the Houston game will be televised on TNT next Friday night.
That's becoming tough again. With Dallas playing, going to Texas is no longer one sure win.
Rejected, but goaltending call. That was close.
Yeah, and El Campbell's upset because he's telling everybody, I played great defense. You didn't have to do that. And that was close, but that was going in. And that was a good call.
Patrick Ewing, 3 of 3 since Shaquille O'Neal sat down, and 12 points in the first half. And we've got a minute to go in what has become a very good ball game here from the Forum. Horry, left side to Fox for 3. This one off the front. Ewing gets the rebound. Allen Houston. The feed to Larry Johnson. Double team comes from Horry. Here's Oakley. The entry pass to Ewing. Double down from Horry. Ward takes the shot and makes it.
Yeah, he can make that shot. He needs time to shoot his 3-pointers or any shot. And he had time right there, and he made it.
30 seconds to go. Oakley goes for the steal. Van Exel with the penetration. Short. Ewing can't hold on, and Campbell gets 2. And the shot clock is off. We've got 23-6 to go in the first half of play. A 4-point New York lead.
And Jeff Van Gundy loves giving the ball to Allen Houston to end the clock. You know, you look at Allen Houston, you think jump shooter. He is a really good guy taking the ball off the dribble. We'll see it here.
Kobe Bryant picks him up. The dish to Ewing. Not there. And we have reached the end of the first half of play. New York shoots 52%. They only turned it over 5 times. And you're watching the New York Knicks being directed and watched as they go into the locker room at halftime. Shaquille O'Neal and the Lakers trail by 4.
In his season debut, Shaquille O'Neal has 10 points. Patrick Ewing has got 12. Knicks are doing the speed limit and beating the Lakers 55-51. We welcome you back to our Atlanta studio along with Bob Hill, Ernie Johnson. This is the Nike Halftime Report. Never have so many gathered to watch a basketball game in the state of Georgia. And only 4 times in NBA history have there been bigger crowds than the 45,790 who turned out at the Georgia Dome to see if the Hawks could beat the champs and stay unbeaten at 5-0. Homemade sign alert. There it is. They were rocking the place downtown Atlanta at the Georgia Dome. Ty Corbin scored 12 points in the first quarter. Hawks getting off from 31-20 after 1. Scott Burrell knifing through for a 3-point play as they cut the gap to 3 at the break. And Christian Laettner and Ty Corbin and Steve Smith working the break. Hawks up 7 going to the 4th. Michael Jordan, a 27-point night, recovers and jams. They're down by 5. Now watch Dennis Rodman. Throws the leg into Dikembe Mutombo. Nullifies the basket by Jordan. They're down 2, closing ticks. Michael's going for the win from 3-point land. It's off the rim. And Steve Smith wants to play keep away. The Atlanta Hawks, in front of nearly 46,000 people, win it and go 5-0. Oh, they're all pumped up. 80-78 is the final score. Atlanta unbeaten on top of the Central Division. And Dennis Rodman did not do much tonight, folks. Only had a couple of points and a couple of boards. And after the game, he told reporters, I really wasn't into it tonight. And when Michael Jordan heard that, he said, if you're not into it, go home. Here's a man who's coached Dennis Rodman before and can expect just about anything from the Worm.
Coaching Dennis is like going to work every day with a tornado warning, and maybe the tornado hit pay dirt. I think it all kind of started last year in the playoffs. He went from averaging 16 rebounds a game during the regular season to about 8, and really didn't contribute to their championship. So he's got a lot of things going on in his life. Maybe it's time that he moves on.
We will see what happens tomorrow night, but he is scheduled to go against New Jersey tomorrow night. But still, something happening there in the air in Chicago. Meantime, other highlights. The Seattle Supersonics playing tonight against the Indiana Pacers at Market Square. And there's Chris Mullin, who had 18 on 8 out of 12. Detlef Schrempf leads the Seattle comeback. Game's tied. Look at the Pacers. That's a little messy, Bob. Mark Jackson should have caught that ball at midcourt. Turns into a bucket for Gary Payton. And oh, my goodness. Penny for your thoughts, Larry Bird. 99-93 as Seattle just runs away in the last minute of that game, breaking open a tight game to win it by 6. The Sonics have not lost a game on the road. They win it 99-93. And at Boston's Fleet Center tonight, the Celtics have now lost 4 in a row. They won opening night against Chicago. Cleveland gets them tonight 96-92. Kemp had 28 points and 15 boards. When we come back, we'll take a look back at Game 1 of our doubleheader. Chuck Daly returns to Detroit, hoping there's still some magic at the Palace and that Penny would provide it. And the Nets put their perfect record on the line. Now, can they withstand the heat? Highlights from Jersey coming up. The Nike Halftime Report rolls on. So do the New Jersey Nets, down 4 at the half. They put something together in the third. Jason Williams, 18 points, 10 rebounds. Chris Gatling goes 24 and 12 as they come back and beat the Miami Heat. Pat Riley says the pain starts. Well, he did. There was a great shot that illustrated that, but sometimes those things don't work. 99-87, New Jersey over Miami. The Nets, their best start in history. Meantime, the Orlando Magic and the Detroit Pistons playing in Game 1 of our doubleheader, and Chuck Daly's number and Chuck Daly himself. They'd had a rough week, but they got well tonight. Watch this. Oh, man, 7 turnovers in the fourth quarter by Detroit. This one turns into a Penny dunk eventually as it gets the roll. Hardaway had 20. Penny and the Magic breaking a 2-game losing streak, making it a 2-2 road trip, an early 4-gamer for Chuck Daly's guys, 89-84. Let's pick this apart a little bit, Bob. What did Orlando do well in this game to win?
Chuck Daly said earlier this week that he thinks his team can press. Here he puts the second unit in. Darrell Armstrong is on the ball. Bo Outlaw does a good job, and they trap the ball right in the corner. Gerald Wilkins reads it, rotates, steals it, and they're off and running. Again, watch Bo Outlaw. This is why they picked him up. He's clear behind the ball on the right side of the floor. There's gives a pass, he keeps coming, he deflects it, jumps in the air, keeps it in play, and they're off and running. One more time, Outlaw up 2 or 3 times on the board. Again, even with the ball this time with Grant Hill, chases him down, stays with him, reverses him. He's there to block it if Penny doesn't. That's why they picked him up, and if he brings that kind of energy on a consistent basis, along with Darrell Armstrong and Gerald Wilkins, Chuck Daly was right. They got some energy coming off the bench, and that's always valuable.
A huge win for them because they had really been lousy at Milwaukee and Chicago this week, but they go to the Palace, and Chuck Daly wins in his homecoming. Meantime, the Charlotte Hornets and the Washington Wizards playing tonight, and it's 107-92 for the Hornets. They have won 3 in a row. That's not all the Hornets did today. They made a trade with the Golden State Warriors. And in that trade, Muggsy Bogues heads west, so does Tony Delk, and B.J. Armstrong comes to Charlotte. People around the league are whelmed. Portland and Houston. Look at the Rockets, down by 1 with a chance to win. It's in the hands of Charles Barkley, and it's short. And the Blazers go to the Compaq Center and beat the Rockets. Had to come back to do it. 86-85. Portland is 3-1 after losing their opener. Mike Dunleavy, these guys have won 3 in a row. Utah Jazz, Denver Nuggets. We had a little cut into this earlier to show you how Denver almost sent this thing to overtime. Utah struggles past Denver 91-89 at McNichols, and Denver remains winless at 0-4. When we come back, we'll update the West Coast stuff. Keep it right here. We welcome you back to the Nike Halftime Report. At the break, the Clippers 0-3, 45. The Kings winless at 0-3, 43. Game still up in the air. Minnesota Timberwolves and Vancouver Grizzlies with 10:35 left, and the T-Wolves hanging on to a 4-point lead as they play at the Garage. Tuesday on TNT, Tim Duncan and the Spurs face Kevin Garnett and the Timberwolves. Wednesday on TBS, Knicks and Raptors from Toronto. Next Friday on TNT, SHAQ and the Lakers meeting Sir Charles and the Rockets. Remember, after the Knicks and the Lakers tonight, the coach and I will have Inside the NBA, and who knows, maybe our producer Joe Vincius will show that shot of Pat Riley rubbing his eye in pain as the Heat lost tonight to New Jersey. We can only hope. 4-point game, third quarter's coming up.
This program is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the National Basketball Association. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the expressed written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
Welcome back. Usual full house on hand at the Great Western Forum in Inglewood as the New York Knicks lead the Los Angeles Lakers 55-51. At the end of the first half, first meeting of the year between these two. It almost seems a little early for a marquee matchup like this, but we've been given a very good game.
Yeah, they're both playing well, and they understand when you're West-East, you only play each other 2 times, and the next time these 2 teams can play after that second game is in the finals, and I think both of these teams understand that.
Well, let's take a look at the statistical breakdown in the first half, and the key, I would think, Doc, for New York, the absence of turnovers, and the Lakers haven't turned it over that much as well.
Yeah, last night the Knicks only had 11 turnovers, and tonight so far only 5. I think the key so far for the Knicks is the Lakers have 0 in fast break points, and I think that's the key for the Knicks right now.
Well, Del Harris is having to limit the minutes of Shaquille O'Neal, and Del talked with Craig Sager just a moment ago.
Well, Coach SHAQ is back, and he's very dominating, but you limited his minutes, and it seems like maybe the team isn't in an offensive flow.
Well, we got one hand tied behind us a little bit, but all we got to do is increase our defensive activity. We only had 7 deflections the first half and 2 steals, and then offensively we have to be just a little bit more patient to get the 50% shot.
All right, thanks a lot. Let's go back to Vernon Doc.
All right, Craig, thank you. Of course, Jeff Van Gundy with that very deep team he has now. Acting as a juggler in part because he's got to make sure he portions out the minutes to each guy.
Yeah, it's amazing. You have a Hall of Fame player in Buck Williams sitting on the bench, and you look at the minutes here. Look at all the minutes played. I think the key minute there is Dudley 8, which means Ewing 16. You double that, that's 32. Good math for Marquette there, Vern. And 32 minutes a game for Ewing would be great.
I'm so glad you didn't waste all those years in Wisconsin Avenue.
I actually did.
There is Buck Williams. He did not play in the game against Phoenix, and Van Gundy addressed that topic this morning. He said, I really feel badly for Buck, but I just can't play 10 guys.
Yeah, and it bothers Van Gundy. He said, this is a guy who will be in the Hall of Fame again, and I can't play him. And he said, it's not like he's past his time. He can still play, but we have so many players on this team that I can't get them in.
When he does play in his next game, and it may not be tonight, he will go by John Havlicek for numbers of games played in the league. Here's Charlie Ward. Oakley sets the pick on Van Exel. Ward comes right. Ewing sets the pick for Houston. And a foul on Van Exel reaching in.
And that's a smart play by Van Gundy. They understand Eddie Jones has 3 fouls. So they come out, the first play, go to Allen Houston, try to go at Eddie Jones and get him out of the game.
Van Exel picks up Charlie Ward. Oakley. Rebound in the hands of Horry. It's a 3-on-2 break. Ward goes over to try and contain Horry in the camp.
And that's what the Lakers wanted. And so far, both teams have come out and have done what the coaches want. The Lakers want to run and get easy shots. I'm still trying to figure out what that 50% shot is that Dale Harris was talking about. Maybe it was that one.
Jumper is good from Charlie Ward. Lead is 5. Early going second half. O'Neal draws a crowd.
But it doesn't bother him.
No.
He could care less. You know, most times when you're trapped, you have to pass the ball. SHAQ is so big, he could care less about that trap. It bothers him none a bit. He just broke through that and he draws a foul. The best part for the Knicks is he's on the foul line.
Where last year he hit 48% of his free throws. In his seasons in the league, the free throw percentage has declined each year. It hasn't gotten better.
Yeah, and the thing is, you can watch him in practice. I've watched him make 10 in a row. So he still doesn't have the great mechanics, but it's also mental. And once it gets in your mind, it's in your mind. Nick Anderson in Orlando is a great example of that.
Well, O'Neal misses the first 2 of the 1997-98 season. Here's Johnson with the pick and roll. And off the screen, Charlie Ward. No. O'Neal gets it to Horry, who touch passes it over to Eddie Jones. Van Exel picks it up. Distributes left side. Jones baseline. Doing jump step. Gets the rebound and a fresh 24.
Didn't hit the rim. So it shouldn't.
So there is no fresh 24, and they caught it right away.
And now we have to figure out how much time was on the clock when Jones went up with that layup. You can see here, this is a great move until it left his hand, and then it's real hard. Didn't touch the rim, so it's 11 seconds left. That's a good call by the refs.
11 on the shot clock, and it'll be inbounded by Eddie Jones on the near side. Horry. Out to Fox on the rebound. Van Exel with 3. Little scoop. O'Neal stands his ground, and a fresh 24 now. Oakley and Ewing double team O'Neal. Fox very short with the shot.
Yeah, and all his 3s so far have hit in front of the rim, and maybe that new 3-point line is affecting him a little bit more than they thought.
3-point line at 23-9 now. Ewing at the other end.
Again, every time he faces up and takes his quick shot, he can get it off.
7-point New York lead. Dale Harris prowls the sideline looking at his bench. No move yet. Here's O'Neal. Comes to his left. Dishes. Foul call. Let's go back and take a look at Patrick Ewing.
Yeah, whenever he catches the ball and makes his move quickly, he faces up, takes his jump shot. That new rule comes into effect for him. I think Patrick Ewing, of all the centers, and maybe David Robinson, the new rule where you can't use your forearm will really help guys like that. Any center with a great jump shot, face the basket and shoot the ball. There's nothing anyone can do about it now, and I think that'll really help Patrick Ewing.
Ewing 7 of 14 tonight. Robert Horry gets the first of his free throws, and he is perfect at the line tonight.
And see, Robert Horry, you never have to run a play for. He has 9 free throws already tonight without a play because he gets it on effort, running the court, loose balls. That's why he's good with the first starting unit. He doesn't need the basketball.
5-point game. Playing early in the third quarter. Oakley guarded by Horry. Houston fights through the pick, and that one is deflected by Eddie Jones.
This game is coming to a halt. It slowed a little bit, and that's Nick Faber. The Lakers are still, even with SHAQ, not a great half-court basketball team.
Oakley with an air ball. Lakers have the basketball as we near the 9-minute mark, third period. Here's Shaquille O'Neal again. Oakley guarding him for the moment, and Fox off the glass and good.
Good move. Smart move, too, because he made sure he was going to get fouled also. The fact that the ball went in, the fact that this goes in is a bonus. He saw Patrick Ewing, and he got fouled first right there and then put it in. That's the bonus part when it went in.
Second foul on Patrick Ewing tonight, and Fox with a chance for the three-point play. A little perspiration on the floor, so we'll do some mop-up duty. Rick Fox, who signed, we are told, with the Lakers as a free agent for much, much less than he could have attracted from 6 other clubs.
Yeah, I know Cleveland offered a ton of money. So did Atlanta. Atlanta assumed that he was coming. That hurt their whole summer, basically, because they didn't go after anyone else because they thought they had Rick Fox.
Fox says he thinks he's got his best chance to get his first ring here. Underneath, Ewing saves it. Strong move by Patrick, but the shot will not go, and Horry is on the line and out of bounds.
I'm sure the rules makers had no idea how much that this falling out of bounds timeout play would come into effect. And here's another. You look at here, last year, he's calling a timeout. This year, he just has to throw it in.
Well, how do you feel? Do you like the change?
I like the change. I think it brings a little more excitement to the game, and at the end of the games, that's going to be interesting.
Jumper from the baseline by Houston is not there. Loose ball picked up by Charlie Ward. Now Ewing. O'Neal has him straight up. Double comes as he drives the lane from Fox, and a foul is called.
Once again, he faced up. He took his time, but he faced up. And I think facing up is the way Patrick Ewing has to go in tonight's game. Look at him. Faces up. He shows the ball, and that's what gets him able to get into the paint is the face up. You can see it right there. Now, let's see if it's a foul. Well.
Foul is called on Rick Fox.
Yes.
His third.
And that's usually the case. If you're standing next to the star, you should run. If the whistle is blown, you're going to get it. And that's what Rick Fox was thinking. In Boston, he wouldn't have gotten that foul.
Ewing gets the first and shoots one more. 61-59. New York won its game out here last year despite Eldon Campbell's 40 points. O'Neal missed that one. And just about a year ago tonight, the two teams played in Madison Square Garden. That one won by Los Angeles as O'Neal had a big night. Illegal defense. That is the first illegal defensive call tonight.
You're watching both teams doing some trapping. We were in Seattle Tuesday. George Karl is upset at the entire league. He said, we were the only teams trapping. Now Boston's doing it, and everyone's doing it. I don't like it.
Van Exel, Rick Fox. O'Neal. When he puts it on the floor, Oakley comes to help. Eddie Jones. Loose ball tipped out to Van Exel, who saves it. 2 on the shot clock. Eddie Jones.
He got from the corner to the basket in 1.5 seconds.
Runner rejected by O'Neal off of Houston's attempt. Eddie Jones. called by the Knicks as we're tied again at 62.
Look at this here. 2 seconds on the shot clock here, and Eddie Jones gets to the basket. That's quickness.
And at the other end, it was O'Neal's rejection of an Allen Houston runner. Led to the feed ultimately for Eddie Jones for 2 points and a 9-2 Los Angeles run now.
Yeah, and more importantly in that play, SHAQ was involved in that drive, yet he was the guy getting back in transition to block the shot and brought it up to give it to, I mean, look at this. I mean, that's SHAQ back. It looked like he's been back for a while, too. And he shows some dribbling ability that I'm sure Del Harris would rather not see. Made a good decision getting into Jones.
7:20 to go, third quarter. Off the pass, Houston a little to the left side. Here comes Van Exel. He wants to shoot. Crowd ready to explode. Charlie Ward at the other end for the Knicks. Larry Johnson's down. The ball goes right to O'Neal. Eddie Jones has it. Ewing's back. Here's Ori, who can't control it. It's taken away by Charlie Ward.
Yeah, he saw a big body in front of him. That's why he couldn't control it.
Houston for three. No. Van Exel. O'Neal.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Steal by Van Exel.
Oh, just no communication by
Jones. Fox.
Oh.
Timeout, New York.
The NBA on TNT is brought to you by Chevrolet, the cars found in more driveways across America. The cars more Americans trust. That's genuine Chevrolet. And by Nike.
Let's take another look at that pass to Van Exel to Shaquille O'Neal.
Basically, he just threw it. When you have SHAQ on the other end, you can throw the ball anywhere. He just threw that ball up. It could have gone up to that Fox Sports set at the top. He's catching it and dunking. It's amazing how high SHAQ can get up with that big body.
O'Neal, who missed 31 games a year ago, 28 with a hyperextended knee, and he punctuates a 13-2 Laker run. And really ignited by Eddie Jones.
Yeah, and in one word, explosive. That's what the Lakers are. The Knicks had them playing their game, walking it up the court. One play by Eddie Jones, who made that spurt.
John Starks joins the floor during the timeout and takes the jumper in and out. Fox, loose ball foul called against Larry Johnson. His third foul.
And that's not what Jeff Van Gundy wanted. He wanted someone to attack the bucket. When you're struggling, you need to go to the basket and at least get fouled so you can stop a run.
2 of 11 shooting now for New York in the third quarter of play. See the Atlanta victory over Chicago tonight as the Hawks remain undefeated. Van Exel. Eddie Jones traveled.
Yeah, he traveled twice, and they let him slide the first time.
Yeah. Del Harris reacts with a degree of disgust. Not at the call, at his player. Here's Ewing. Ori has it. Johnson for three. Yes.
Look at that. Jeff Van Gundy told us that he can't take that shot anymore.
Yeah, it's interesting. Van Gundy said of all of his three-point shooters, the extension of the three-point line has harmed Larry Johnson the most. That's his first of the year.
Oh, and it looked easy.
Turnover. Starks lets it go. Saves it. Takes the shot. And O'Neal takes it away. Are you kidding me?
Wow. Charles Oakley is a brave man.
How about you want to see a definition of taking a charge? Watch Oakley.
Charles Oakley is a brave man. SHAQ slowed down because he couldn't believe Oakley was not going to move. They played chicken, and Oakley won.
Now that's impressive.
That is.
And O'Neal's on the bench after that coast-to-coast dribble. Starks guarded by Eddie Jones. Here's Ewing with Campbell guarding him now. Foul, they'll go to the free throw line.
And every time Shaq's gone out, they get the ball to Patrick. He attacks the basket and either scores or gets fouled.
You know, I think the rest of the year I'm going to remember Oakley taking that charge.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. And Patrick probably the happiest because that play got Shaq to sit down.
Yeah, just brought his lunch bucket again.
He does every game, and everywhere you go, you hear, you know, Oakley can't do this, he can't do that. But he is a guy you want on your team. If you want to win basketball games, you need role players. You know, the Lakers won for years with a guy named Kurt Rambis. And that's the same type of player Charles Oakley is.
Rambis, of course, an assistant coach, is on the bench with the Lakers.
Looks much better as a coach.
Dressed up nice.
Yes, he is.
Nicely. 4:40 to go, third quarter. Fox drives in. No, in and out. Campbell saves it. Gets it to Eddie Jones.
Well, Rick Fox is really getting to the basket.
No basket. Oakley gets the foul this time. That is the 5th team foul. 3rd foul on Oakley. And Rick Fox is at the free throw line.
I think Rick Fox has decided my three-point shot is not falling. I'm going to attack the basket. And that's what he's doing. He's doing a nice job.
Born in Toronto, raised in the Bahamas. Decided when he saw his first basketball game he wanted to play the sport, and he specifically wanted to play it at North Carolina.
You know, he's had legendary places: North Carolina, Boston, and the Lakers.
Yeah. Not a bad itinerary for a kid who took the sport up fairly late.
Yeah.
Charlie Ward, pick and roll with Ewing. Starks finds Ewing. Campbell takes him defensively. Ewing in the lane, and he will go to the free throw line.
It's amazing watching the difference. When Shaq's in, Patrick Ewing faces and attacks that way. When Elton Campbell is in, he turns his back, he takes his time, he gets that deep, and then shoots. And he can do it all night.
Now back at the free throw line after Campbell picks up his 3rd foul this evening.
Like the hesitation on the second. Like the hesitation on the second.
19 on the night for Ewing.
Quietly having a really nice game here. Big game for Patrick Ewing.
Misses the second. It's tipped to Ori. Here's Eddie Jones. Underneath. No basket. Foul before the shot. Rick Fox.
Foul number 2.
Larry Johnson is called for the foul. That's his 4th. And he becomes the first member of either team to pick up 4 fouls.
They're so fast. I mean, Eddie Jones grabs it there and attacks the basket. This is just an explosive basketball team, the Lakers.
Larry Johnson will sit with his 4 fouls. Chris Mills on for him. And Derek Fisher comes on for Del Harris and the Lakers, replacing Nick Van Exel. Rick Fox are back at the line. And Chris Childs is also on for Van Gundy's Knicks. Rebound Oakley. Lakers lead by 1. Starks finds Ewing. Ewing over Campbell for 2 more. He's got 21.
Yeah, and he probably whispered to Del Harris, keep him over there. Keep him on the bench, talking about Shaq. He loves it.
Knicks back on top by 1. Ori backs in on Oakley, then goes baseline. Campbell, nice rebound, put back is good.
Yeah, Patrick Ewing fell asleep. He was watching Robert Horry make the move. He forgot to block out.
3:13 to go, third quarter. A one-point game again, Oakley. Back to John Starks, who's picked up by Eddie Jones. Ewing again. Mills tries to save it and can't. Eddie Jones for the Lakers. Underneath, Campbell is fouled. Foul is called on Ewing, his third. And time has been called here at the Forum in L.A.
Lakers lead the Knicks by 1. With me, Director of Basketball Operations for the Lakers, Jerry West. And, Coach, as you look at this roster, how deep and talented it is, do you feel like you have to make a change with all these rumors flying?
Well, not really. You know, we like our team the way it is. We're awfully young, but you can see this is a terrific game against two really good teams. We're just so young. I don't know if we have enough experience, but we like what we have.
The lack of experience, does that bother you most for the playoffs? You don't have that seasoned veteran?
Well, I think so because, you know, in the playoff games, they're not as loose as these kind of games. And most of these games are going to be a little bit more closely contested. Shots come harder. And every basket is an important possession. That's when you need players who can go get shots and make shots on their own.
Do you think you'll make any changes with this roster?
I have no idea.
All right, thanks for being with us. Let's go back to Vernon Dodd.
And he's not going to tell us tonight.
No, he's not. But I tell you what, when you hear a Jerry West stressing we're really young, and I don't know, we're so young, two words come in, Mitch Richmond, to my mind. That's what you think when you hear that. And that's the first I've really thought that could happen here now. But when you hear that, that makes you think Mitch Richmond is around the corner.
And if you guys who are watching, men and women who are watching the game have not heard those rumors earlier in the week, it was an Eddie Jones for Mitch Richmond trade. And then there was even further speculation today that Richmond might be bound for San Antonio. So
and Jerry West might be thinking, if that's true, I'm getting Mitch Richmond just so San Antonio can't get him.
Right.
Which is not a bad move either.
Here's Childs. Oakley. Nope. Put back from Chris Mills. Nice move.
Again, Chris Mills rebound.
72-73. Lakers lead by 1. Kobe Bryant. Fox prowling the baseline. And here's Elvin Campbell gets it back to Bryant, who's way underneath. The rebound, Oakland.
And that's one thing that he does still, Kobe Bryant. He dribbles himself into trouble at times.
Childs, nice move. Went right between Derek Fisher and Kobe Bryant.
Yeah. And Joe Harris does not like that.
Final 1:40 of the third quarter. Campbell guarded by Chris Dudley, who's on the floor. Traveled.
Yeah, he did. And what he was trying to do was fill Chris Dudley's body. And when he did it, he missed. And he fell off balance and traveled.
10 turnovers now for the Lakers.
You can watch it right here. When he catches the ball, they're really fighting. And watch here. He tries to bump, and there's nobody there.
Foul is called on Derek Fisher. And New York with a penalty.
You know, Jerry West made a good point about experience. 10 minutes ago, this game was loosey-goosey. It was running. That's the way the Lakers won it. The Knicks have slowed it up again, and if you look at the score, the Knicks are ahead. Veteran basketball team.
Ewing rests. So does Allen Houston, Larry Johnson, Chris Childs at the free throw line. Richmond unhappy up in Sacramento for a while. 32 years of age now, and thus far early in the season, of course, averaging 23 and 47 from the field.
And those numbers are really misleading. The difference is Jones plays with a bunch of great players on his team, and those numbers are easier. Mitch Richmond has those numbers with a lousy basketball team. I hate to say that, but it's the truth. And so those numbers are really tough. It's not a secret that on Sacramento, Richmond's going to shoot the basketball.
Well, what you just saw then was a really cheap foul from Chris Childs, and that's his fourth. And Van Gundy has hands on hips.
Yeah, coaches hate that because basically you're giving 2 points away. Derek Fisher is a nice free throw shooter. You don't need that foul. But we all get them. I mean, those are things you as a coach, you want your guy to pick the ball up full court, but then you don't want them to foul, and things like that happen at times.
Fisher cans both free throws. 90 seconds to go, third quarter. Knicks by 1. Here comes Childs, picked up by Rick Fox. Chris Mills sets a pick, then sets another pick. John Starks drives a behind-the-back pass and goes right in the hands of Eldon Campbell.
Yeah, John's really struggling right now. I think he just turned his ankle also.
Fisher, Campbell, Dudley defending. And it's out of bounds. Lakers will inbound. Here comes Allen Houston.
Yeah, you can see Starks going out. I think he really hurt his ankle.
Mike Saunders hurries over the trainer for the Knicks to tend to John Starks. Final minute, third quarter. And Dudley with a terrific defensive job on the baseline forces the turnover. Houston, Chris Childs, Derek Fisher off the dribble. Corey Blunt rejects the shot from Childs. Fisher. Yes.
Oh, I tell you, he shows a lot of promise. I think he's one of those guys that just knows how to play basketball.
Out of Arkansas Little Rock in his second season, Derek Fisher. Mills with the pump fake, leans in. Dudley saves it. Kicks it back outside to Houston. Spread the court, take the final shot, 6 to go. Chris Childs. Dudley, no. Childs didn't have a great third quarter.
No, he didn't, and that's, again, a nice move by Derek Fisher.
At the end of 3, Patrick Ewing with 21 points on 8 of 17 from the field. And the Knicks trail the Los Angeles Lakers by 1, 77-76. Welcome back to the final quarter. Let's go back and take a look at John Starks, Doc.
Yeah, you can see here, steps right on Shaq's foot, and he turns that over. Oh, yeah, he turned it over all the way there. And you can see him limping off the court here.
Well, they are re-taping the ankle, and Craig Sager tells us that Starks is expected to rejoin the game in some pain now. Well, among the stars in the audience tonight, see the guy on the upper right-hand side?
Yeah,
with
right
the beard,
there.
You don't recognize him. Yes. Pat Hayden, colleague in football, and his son Ryan next to him, and then his son Taylor. So the Hayden family well represented tonight.
Yeah, we had dinner over there last night, sitting next to Sean Jones. I wonder, are they talking about basketball, though?
Possible. Possible. Here's Eldon Campbell.
Now Eldon's thinking, as Patrick Ewing is out of the game, it's my turn.
So it's Campbell and Dudley, and Eldon Campbell has 14 points tonight. Chris Childs, Derek Fisher. Let's set the lineups for you. It's Oakley. Here's Allen Houston. Dudley battles for the rebound. Houston saves it, gets it in the hands of Chris Mills.
Every one of Houston's shot has hit the front of the rim. If you don't think that wrist is not bothering him, then you're crazy.
Again, surgery in the early part of the summer on his shooting wrist. Offensive foul on Dudley. Allen Houston. Nope. Technical foul.
Offensive foul, Chris Dudley.
And I don't know why the tech, because he did it. See, he slams the ball, and that's why he gets the technical foul, and you'll see it right here. The problem here is you don't give Dudley the ball on the post. You don't put a player in a position where he can make a mistake. And if you're giving Dudley the ball on the post, you're putting him in a position where he can make a mistake. And that he's frustrated over all that.
Arguing with Scott Foster. Kobe Bryant cans the technical, and Patrick Ewing is going to come on for Charles Oakley now. Dudley will stay on the floor.
And that's a good substitution. Van Gundy is putting Ewing back in for two reasons. One, he wants some more offense out of Ewing, and he wants to try to slow down Elden Campbell. Now, Ewing probably won't guard him, but his presence will be on the court.
Here's Campbell guarded by Dudley. Back to Fisher. Robert Ory. Dudley again picks up Campbell. There's a pass to Bryant in the lane, and a foul is called on Allen Houston.
And the thing I'm most impressed with the Lakers right now is when Shaq's in the game, he's made some nice passes, and Elden Campbell is doing the same thing. This team is starting to feed off each other and read each other. It took a year to do it, but it's coming around.
Fisher, beautiful pass. Kobe Bryant.
That's hang time. It would have taken me down on the floor, up, down on the floor about 3 times before I could have gotten that shot off.
19 years of age. Next week on Turner Sports on Tuesday night here on TNT. Doc and I will be in Minnesota as the San Antonio Spurs take on the Timberwolves. Wednesday night, the Knicks in Toronto, and then Friday night, the Lakers against the Rockets down in Houston. Pressure applied by Cordy Blunt, and here comes Chris Mills. He's picked up by Ory. Blunt gets back to take on Dudley, and the entry pass to Ewing and slapped away by Kobe Bryant. Fisher off the dribble, in and out. Allen Houston gets the rebound for New York. 11 New York turnovers now. They had 4 at the half. Bryant giving Ewing fits. Childs, Allen Houston. Baseline jumper, Houston, no. He's 0 for 6 in this half.
Again, front of the rim. Same shot.
That one out of bounds. Knicks want a timeout. We've got exactly 10 to go. First meeting of the season. Lakers and Knicks.
Turnover problems starting to creep in the game for the Knicks. And sometimes it's not the pass. I want you to look at the bottom of the screen right here. Allen Houston does not allow his man to clear. He throws the ball too early. Kobe Bryant's right there all the way. And what this does is lead to a turnover. You must allow the guy to clear through before you throw that pass into the post.
We have played 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. The Knicks yet to score in this stanza, and Ewing does not have a shot. Here's Childs, Houston, Chris Mills, Ewing, and Dudley.
And the good thing about this, Vern, is that Shaq hasn't been on the floor, and the Lakers have made a run.
Allen Houston, first basket this half.
I'll tell you what, you have to have a lot of confidence to keep shooting. And that's why he's a great shooter, because he can do that. Great shooters have that ability to forget the misses.
Robert Ory. Dudley. Goaltending. Now Fisher comes up to apply a little pressure to Chris Childs on the inbound play. 5-point Laker lead as they try to maintain an undefeated season, winning their second home game. They're home Sunday night here against Golden State before heading to Texas next week. From the corner, Childs for 2.
And that's a big shot because the Lakers were trying to stretch that lead. That's a big shot for the Knicks.
Cuts the margin to 3. Kobe Bryant backs in on Allen Houston. Ewing gets the miss. Here comes New York. Childs has it in his hands. Chris Mills thinks about 3 and decides to do it.
Should have shot it the first time. Once he thought about it, it was too late.
Fisher. Over Dudley. Air ball. Here comes Houston. Childs gets it from Allen Houston. Bryant, the runner. And Kobe Bryant picks up the foul.
And you saw there, how much a 19-year-old player weighs, because Chris Childs is a point guard, and he knocked Kobe Bryant in the crowd.
O'Neal getting ready to come back. You can hear the murmurs in the crowd.
Yeah, they were getting restless. But I think the bench has done a terrific job, really, for both teams. But the Lakers caught up with the Knicks and extended the lead right there with Shaq on the bench.
Childs is perfect from the free throw line tonight. He gets his 7th. Eddie Jones and Shaquille O'Neal come on. Corey Blunt and Kobe Bryant will head to the bench. And Dudley heads out, replaced by Larry Johnson for the New York Knicks.
And Chris Childs is really having a terrific game right now. 14 points and 15 now. He's just really doing well for the Knicks. I think he's comfortable coming off the bench and being a scorer. This is a homecoming for him also.
Right.
He's from the LA area. His dad was a caddy at a golf club, and Chris Childs is a 5 handicap. Ooh. Yeah. I learned that the hard way.
Lighting the wallet, huh? O'Neal, triple team, back to Eddie Jones. Quickly left side. Campbell and O'Neal now both on the floor for the Lakers. Robert Horry off the front iron. And Mills clears it. A chance for New York to reclaim the lead. Except that Eddie Jones gets the steal. Now he has to save it, and he can't. Childs takes it away. Right side, Allen Houston for 3. Big basket, doesn't get it. And the Lakers will slow it down.
Overshot it. He overshot that one. He was going to make sure he was not going to be short anymore.
7:39 to go. Regulation time. The dish, and O'Neal goes back to the free throw line after Larry Johnson fouls him.
Smart play by Larry Johnson, and that's tough to foul Shaq, because he's strong enough, even though you foul him, to get up and make the basket.
Derek Fisher is replaced by Nick Van Exel. And O'Neal, who is 0 for 2 tonight, goes to the free throw line to shoot 2.
And you can see Dale Harris telling him, you over-penetrated a couple times. Take your time. In the first stance, he was really good. That time he came in, and it looked like he was really anxious to get to the bucket, over-penetrated a couple times, and lost the ball.
1 of 4 for the evening now for Shaquille O'Neal. And a 2-point Los Angeles lead. 7:28 to go. Mills back to Chris Childs. Horry guards it. Ewing guarded by Shaquille O'Neal.
And you can see him face up. It's the exact opposite that he plays Elton Kimball. Right when he caught it, he faced up. That's smart basketball by Patrick Ewing.
Ewing with 23, and we're tied at 84. Jones for 3. No. Ewing chases down the rebound. At the other end, Larry Johnson. Eddie Jones steps in front of the errant pass.
Now, he tried to thread the needle. You can't thread the needle when you have a bunch of athletes on the floor.
What a pick by O'Neal. And Eddie Jones is fouled by Patrick Ewing. That's his 4th. 4th team foul. And Eddie Jones will shoot a couple.
That was a nice pick by O'Neal. But I would assume that every time he sets a pick, it's a nice pick. It's like going around the block.
Brings back memories of Charles Oakley taking the charge. And I look over at Charles. Remember, he raised a fuss early in the season in the Detroit game because he sat for the last 9 minutes of regulation play.
Yeah, but his concern was more that they were not playing their style of basketball. They elected to go small against Detroit. And Oakley said, we're not a small team. We don't run up and down. We're a bruising team, and that's how we have to play all the time.
On the floor for the Knicks, Ewing, Johnson, Houston, Childs, and Chris Mills.
And Van Gundy agreed with Oakley.
Larry Johnson in the post. Short, rebound, Mills. Oh, what a putback. And a foul is going to be called on the Lakers. Eddie Jones.
Van Gundy might be right. I would doubt on the scouting report they had Mills great rebounder or good rebounder. That time he just got 2, and he's really been involved in the boards. And what's happening here is people are forgetting about him. They see so many other guys. He just hangs around under the basket, shoots it, gets it back, and gets fouled.
Mills Mills gets the first.
Another guy from L.A.
Right.
Mills is, and his dad is in the crowd somewhere also.
Knicks lead. 6:20 to go. Eddie Jones picked up by Allen Houston. Mills guards Ori. Van Exel, Ori, O'Neal, and Campbell, along with Eddie Jones. They front Campbell. He's off the front rim.
And this is the first time that Campbell and SHAQ have been on the court at the same time.
Childs guarded by Van Exel. Rick Fox getting ready to make an appearance for Del Harris's Lakers. Ewing called for it, finally got it, and is fouled by O'Neal.
Good move by Ewing. He had no chance of making that shot, but he draws a good foul.
Third foul on Shaquille O'Neal. And Patrick Ewing back at the line. Rick Fox is on for the Lakers.
I think the difference in Patrick Ewing is his willingness to pass out of the post now. I think he trusts his guys on the court. Jeff Van Gundy talked about that today. He said it happened in the middle of last year, and you can see it now. He's a smarter basketball player. He plays the right game. He's understanding what he can do and what he can't do now, and I think that comes with age.
Got both free throws. A 10-2 New York run with 5:46 to go, and they lead by 3. Van Exel guarded by Childs, and Ewing is now on O'Neal. Here's Ori for 3. In and out. Ewing rebound. Childs listens to Van Gundy as he goes by and calls the play. Houston the cutter. Pick and roll with Ewing. Ewing face up on O'Neal. Kicks it away. Van Exel. Fox. Allen Houston with the foul.
Yeah, that's a good foul. He had a layup. No free layups in the NBA, and that's a good rule for every team to have.
Third foul on Houston.
Boy, every time the Lakers get out on a break, you're in trouble. You are in trouble. They have so many ball handlers on their team. You look at the Knicks, and they're turnover prone, but you look out on the court, they don't have a lot of ball handlers, guys who can break you down. You look at the Lakers, and the only guy who can't on the starting lineup right there is SHAQ.
Fox gets 1 of 2, and that cuts the lead to 2 as we near the 5-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Childs guarded by Van Exel. Chris Mills fights through a screen. Ewing sets another. Houston over the back. It'll be Laker ball.
So it must be frustrating because he's a great shooter, and he can't make the ball go in like he's used to. That has to be frustrating.
Houston 3 of 13 tonight. 1 basket here in the second half, and a chance now for Los Angeles to tie it up or take the lead. O'Neal. Fox kicks it out to Eddie Jones. He drives, is fouled, and will shoot 2.
Boy, I tell you what, he was bailed out right there. I thought that Allen Houston made a great rotation there and forced Eddie Jones into a tough shot. He was bailed out on that call right there.
Oakley back on the floor now, replacing Chris Mills for New York, and Allen Houston, having picked up his 4th, stays in the ball game with 4:36 to go.
And that's important now because I don't know if John Starks is coming back in the game. He's been sitting a long time. He might come in, but you sit that long with a sore ankle, that could be dangerous. you can see there, he's trying to get in the game, that's for sure.
Pressure applied. Here comes Larry Johnson, tied at 88 with 4.5 remaining. Patrick Ewing. Double comes from Fox. They kick it out, and a foul is called before the shot. John Starks won the argument. He's coming back.
Yeah, because he was begging over there.
Allen Houston will head to the bench. Johnson, Oakley, Ewing, Childs, and Starks for New York. Here's Childs. Robert Horry for the Lakers.
Not the shot they wanted at that time. Chris Childs played a terrific game tonight, but that was not one of his better decisions.
Fox looks for O'Neal. Johnson with a double team. A lot of contact. No whistle. Loose ball. Nick ball. Van Gundy arguing with Nunez. Said, yes. Hang on, I got the call.
He was involved more than Nunez there. I mean, look at this. You know, you always hear about superstars getting calls. Right there, SHAQ is so big, you don't know when he's fouled or when he's not fouled.
Into the front court, Chris Childs, guarded by Van Exel. Oakley sets the screen. Now Ewing. Over O'Neal. Two more.
Quick jump shot. You tell me he hasn't figured that out during this game. He has, and it's really paying dividends.
27 points for Ewing. He's smiling. He and O'Neal are doing a little chatting.
Yes, they are.
8 on the shot clock. Fox looks inside, finds O'Neal. He goes baseline up and under.
And that was a back at you. Patrick Ewing was smiling that he had made that shot, and SHAQ wanted to go back at him. You know what SHAQ did that was smart? He turned away from the double team that was coming and got it up quick. Now SHAQ catches it here. He knows the double team is coming, and he goes opposite. He's so big, he can get his shot off. Right here, you see it again. Too late.
That is also the 5th foul on Patrick Ewing. Off the miss, the jumper, no.
Oh, boy.
Oh, wow. 3 minutes to go. Ewing starts quickly over to Oakley for 2, no. O'Neal with a rebound. Here comes Van Exel. Robert Horry goes by Oakley in the lane.
I tell you what, that was a gutsy play by John Starks. That was a gutsy play.
Starks does pick up the foul. Timeout is called by New York.
I want you to take here a look at Patrick Ewing on offense. When SHAQ's guarding him, he's shooting a jump shot and he's shooting it quick. When Elton Campbell's guarding him, he bumps and he takes his time and he gets to the basket. Smart basketball by Patrick Ewing tonight.
Ewing with 27 points. O'Neal with 15 in his first game of the year. Rebounding edge for Ewing. O'Neal's minutes have been limited tonight.
Yeah, so that's a little misleading also, but Patrick Ewing is getting the best of SHAQ. And in their head-to-head matchup, SHAQ has done a better job. SHAQ usually gets big numbers.
Well, as always, stars are out. Denzel Washington, who is a regular here at Laker games.
He's a regular also.
Jack was here at the Forum a week ago Wednesday night for a tribute to Scott Hamilton.
And Lou Johnson.
And Horry's at the free throw line. Ewing with 5 fouls.
Important.
Johnson and Ewing both with 5. Houston and Childs with 4 each.
But the important one is Ewing. The Knicks have so many players on that bench, and so do the Lakers, that if you're not the key guy, foul trouble is really not that important.
Lakers now 30 of 40 at the free throw line. Ewing sets the screen for Starks. Oakley underneath, fouled by Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, he's fortunate.
He's got 5.
Yeah, and that's important also. But you got Elton Campbell who can come off. I tell you what, Charles Oakley right here was in trouble. When you go up with Shaq, and see, Oakley doesn't have the hang time. He tried to reverse that, but he just couldn't get over there.
Oakley at the line. Knicks are 23 of 25 tonight. Oakley with one more.
Think isn't that pressure on the coaches? Boy.
Got them both. 2.5 remaining and a 1-point New York lead.
Yeah, you know what they're doing. I think Van Gundy's made a nice move here, putting Oakley on O'Neal to try to keep Patrick from fouling out.
Here's Oakley out of the perimeter. Robert Horry has it in his hands. Ewing guards him, and Horry cams it.
Big shot. He's used to making big shots. He has 2 rings.
Houston, of course, and here's Childs guarded by Van Exel. 2 minutes. Starks, bumps for 3. No. Laker rebound. Van Exel.
Big possession for the Lakers here.
Rick Fox knocked back out of bounds by Larry Johnson. It's Fox, Van Exel, Jones, O'Neal, and Horry. And timeout called by Del Harris. One minute, 38 seconds remaining. First meeting of the season between these two glamour teams. The game has lived up to its billing. Coming up next week on Turner Broadcasting on TNT on Tuesday night, the Spurs and the Timberwolves. On TBS on Wednesday, New York at Toronto. And then a week from tonight, the NBA on TNT in Houston as the Los Angeles Lakers complete their trip to Texas to take on the Houston Rockets. All of that next week, the NBA on Turner Sports. Lakers with 2 timeouts remaining and a 22nd. And New York with 3 full timeouts left. 11 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Rick Fox will inbound.
Yeah, and what they want to do here is get it quickly, go to Shaq and surround him with good shooters. And you can see Eddie Jones throwing in the pass. That's a nice move. You can't double off Eddie Jones from the passer. You have to come from the weak side. They didn't need it because Shaq had such good position that they had to follow. And that's not a bad move also. I guarantee you in the Knicks timeout, Jeff Van Gundy said, if Shaq has you in a way where he's can dunk it, follow. And he would have.
1 of 5 at the line tonight, make it 1 of 6.
And this is why it's tough to pick the Lakers to win championships.
Right.
Because their go-to guy can't make free throws.
49% 2 years ago, 48% last year, and 1 of 6 tonight. A 2-point Laker lead.
And that's a big one. They needed at least 1. Now the Knicks, if they score 2, it's still a tie game.
Van Exel picks up Childs quickly as he comes across the midcourt line. Here's Ewing, knocked away by Horry, stolen by the Lakers. 15 turnovers for New York tonight, perhaps none more costly than that.
That was a big one because now it forces them to make a stop here.
Oakley battling with O'Neal in the post, and Oakley picks up the foul.
That's the game plan. If Shaq gets it, foul him. They have enough guys on that bench where they can waste some. The problem is now Charles Oakley has 5 fouls, and do you want him on the court? You can see it here. I don't know if this is exactly what Van Gundy wanted. Charles Oakley did a nice job of forcing him out of the paint. I don't know if he needed to foul that quickly.
It ain't pretty.
Not pretty.
2 of 8. But 1 of 2 on each of the last 2 trips.
Yeah, to give them a 3-point lead. So 1 of 2 for the Lakers when Shaq's on the line is not that bad.
Time is called by New York with 68 seconds remaining in regulation. Coming up on Inside the NBA after the game, scores and highlights back in the Atlanta studios on a busy Friday night here in week number 2 of the 97-98 season. And Bob Hill joins Ernie Johnson in the studio in Atlanta. Jeff Van Gundy hoping his team can pull this one out on the road.
Interesting, Vern. We asked Jeff who he would go to at the end of the game, and he said Patrick most of the time, but he likes getting the ball into John Stark's hand and them running pick and roll with Patrick. I think right now that's exactly what they're going to do.
Here's pick and roll, John Starks and Patrick. Oakley, entry pass taken away by Van Exel, who anticipated the pass and is fouled by Chris Mills.
He anticipated the pass, but Oakley hesitated on the pass. I think Patrick Ewing was open right away, and he didn't get it to him. And that hesitation, you can see the pick and roll, exactly what we thought that they were going to do. But right here is when Patrick Ewing was open, and he was wide open, and the pass was not on the floor. It should have been in the air.
Dale Harris immediately called timeout for the Lakers. They have one full timeout left, plus the 20. They have the ball in a 3-point lead with 56.7 remaining in regulation.
And you can take another look at this play. This is exactly what Jeff Van Gundy wanted. Now right here, look at Patrick Ewing. Van Exel is on him. You don't want to throw it on the ground. You throw that in the air, and you can see Patrick Ewing getting ready for that, and that's what caused the turnover. Patrick Ewing, the play worked, the pass didn't.
12 second-half turnovers for the Knicks. It has been an Achilles heel for a couple of years.
Yeah, and when talking to Jeff Van Gundy today about it, I said, Jeff, have you helped? Are you better in passing? He said, no, we are who we are. We are not a good ball-handling basketball team, and we just have to get over that and play over that. The problem is down the stretch of game. You have to handle the ball. You have to take care of the ball. And if they're going to ever beat the Chicago Bulls, they're going to have to take care of the ball, because that's what the Bulls live on, is turnovers.
Well, you think about the two teams now. We've seen their shortcomings posted out front. O'Neal at the free throw line, and the Knicks' inability to handle the basketball.
Yeah. And you don't need to do all those to win a championship.
Right.
But you need to do some of them, and you have to do those bad things good down the stretch. And it's tough to do them good when you're not good at it.
Robert Horry, Eddie Jones, Fox, Van Exel, and O'Neal on the floor now for the Los Angeles Lakers. And for the Knicks, it's Chris Mills, Chris Childs, John Starks, Oakley, and Ewing.
And what the Knicks are going to do here is show pressure. They're down 3. It's 56 seconds left. They don't want to foul. But if SHAQ gets the ball, I wouldn't be surprised to see a foul. The problem is Patrick Ewing is on him now. So he can't be the guy who fouls Shaquille.
Oakley has Horry. And it's thrown away.
The crowd wants a foul. What happened here on this last play is Eddie Jones and Starks got tangled up due to the pick. Look at the bottom of your screen, and you will see it right there. John Starks did push off. I don't know if you call a foul.
None was. 45 seconds to go. Lakers by 3. Here's Childs, picked up by Van Exel. John Starks, they'll go the pick and roll route again. Ewing calls for it. Now he goes over to the left side. Guarded by O'Neal. Pump fake and foul on Shaquille O'Neal. And that is his 6th.
And they knew it, and Patrick Ewing knew it. He faced up, showed the ball. The fact that Patrick Ewing has made jump shots is what made Shaquille O'Neal jump right here. All you did was show, that was it. You show the ball, you jump. You can see it right here. Patrick Ewing knows if I show that ball, SHAQ is going to jump. Again, a smart play by Patrick Ewing. Now he has to make the free throw.
7 of 9 for the evening for Patrick Ewing at the free throw line. Dale Harris getting ready to call a 20 timeout after the 22nd timeout.
And that's a big make. Now the Lakers, if Patrick Ewing makes this shot, they have to decide who will they go to. They've been going to SHAQ. Now who will it be?
Ewing hits them both. He's 9 of 11. Timeout called by Los Angeles. It's a 20-second timeout. Lakers by 1, 95-94 with O'Neal on the bench.
Now this is the time right now. You can see Dale Harris looking around. He's looking at eyes. He wants to see who wants the ball. When you have Shaq out there, it's easy because you're going to Shaq. But right now, he wants to find out which guy wants the ball. And I tell you, I've been in huddles at times. You can look at guys. You can look at sometimes your star player, and he has that look, I don't want the basketball. And coaches know that. So right now, Dale Harris is trying to find out who wants the ball. My guess is Nick Van Exel or Eddie Jones. It's a tough decision because Campbell has been great on the points also.
Elvin Campbell back on the floor now, replacing O'Neal after he fouled out. 27.4, so of course the Knicks will get one more possession.
And this takes out of play the option for the Knicks to foul Shaq.
Right.
Shaq's out of the game.
Horry, Fox, Van Exel, Eddie Jones, and Campbell. Here's Eddie Jones, picked up by John Starks. And fouled by Chris Childs.
They wanted to foul. Now, there's a lot of options. You can play it a lot of ways. What the Knicks are doing now, they're extending the basketball game. If the Lakers get it, they're going to foul. They like their chances better by getting the ball back quicker.
Eddie Jones now 4 of 5 for the night.
You can go either way on the decision Van Gundy made.
Jones cans them both. Knicks call timeout. 19.6 left in regulation, a 3-point ball game.
The NBA on TNT is brought to you by Budweiser, Beechwood aged for a crisp, clean, classic taste. Budweiser, the king of beers. By Plymouth, more fun, more innovation, more car. That's Plymouth. And by your local AutoZone stores. For the right parts at the right price, look no further than AutoZone.
.6 left in regulation. It'll be Starks and Allen Houston, Chris Childs, Ewing, and Chris Mills on the floor now for the Knicks. For the evening, John Starks 1 of 5 from three-point range. Allen Houston has drawn the donut. He's 0 for 4. Childs 0 for 1. As a team, the Knicks 3 of 14.
And the Knicks, they're down 3, but they don't have to go for 3. I think what they're going to do, they're going to look for a quick shot. If they don't get it, then they'll shoot a 3.
Inbounded by Childs into the hands of Starks. Screen from Ewing. Penetration, Mills puts up the left-handed shot, no good. Rebound with 10 to go into the Van Exel. Eddie Jones, Lakers.
That's game. That's a big shot. And I'm happy for Eddie Jones.
Timeout called by the New York Knicks. 4.6 left in regulation. Ball inbound and Starks has it. Takes the jumper for 3, in and out. At the buzzer, the Los Angeles Lakers maintain their status as one of 3 undefeated teams. And let's check in with Greg Sager, who's with Eddie Jones.
Well, Eddie, a career-high 35 points on Tuesday. Tonight, 11. But it's your basket in the second half that ignited this whole comeback.
Well, you know, I knew I had to get going. You know, the guys told me, Eddie, get going, get us started. They know I do it defensively first, and then I let my offense kind of take over. And, you know, the guys got on me, and I had to get going some kind of way.
You got in foul trouble. I saw you arguing with Coach Del Harris. Doc said you wanted to stay, but he pulled you out. Talk about then the play at the end of the game when you put it away.
Well, I knew, you know, we was going to get it going. We wasn't playing Laker basketball, and it just took us a chance to get running. Once we got running, I knew we was going to win this game.
How difficult has it been for you with all the trade talk about you being traded for Mitch Richmond?
It's been very difficult, but this is a business, and things happen, and if it happened, I have to abide by it.
But do you think it will happen?
I don't know. I mean, I've been told it won't happen. I was told before it even hit the press that it wouldn't happen, and hasn't happened yet, so I don't know.
All right, thanks for being with us. Congratulations. Great game. Let's go back to Vernon Dock.
All right, Craig, and big baskets for Eddie Jones tonight. Eddie Jones with the 11 points, but they happened at significant times, and he is our Bud player of the game. Lakers win it. They go to 3-0. The New York Knicks lose tonight. They fall to 3-2. Let's go back to Atlanta and Ernie Johnson.
Sounds like a winner to me, Vern. The NBA on TNT with special Friday night hours. We never close. And it's time for Inside the NBA. The 5th largest crowd in NBA history watches the Hawks go for their 5th straight win. It is a thrilling trip into the house of Mutombo. Elsewhere, the kid taking it to Dirac at the garage. Highlights from Vancouver. 1 week into the season, who's paying attention? Who's got a better record, Miami or New Jersey? And what's the latest on the Rock? And who wants a piece of it? We'll have all that stuff. Well, for Bob Hill, it will be as memorable as his 62-win season in San Antonio. Almost. The chance to co-host Inside the NBA, and we tip it off with a game that drew the 5th largest crowd in league history. Nearly 46,000 turned out at the Hawks' temporary home, the Georgia Dome, to see if the Hawks could beat Michael Jordan and the world champs and run their record to 5-0 in the process. They were jammed into the Georgia Dome tonight, rocking the place. Steve Smith lighting it up early. He had 15 in the game. Hawks on top by 5. Dennis Rodman only had 3 rebounds. Here's one of them. Then he feeds Michael, and the Bulls are hanging with him early. Tyrone Corbin, some production from the small forward spot for the unbeaten Hawks. 12 points in the first quarter, finished with 15. Hawks up 11 after 1. Tony Kukoc with a 3-pointer as Chicago comes back. And by halftime, they close the gap to 3. It's 50-47. The Hawks maintain that lead. They run the break. Leitner, Corbin, Steve Smith for the dunk. Dikembe Mutombo had 6 blocks tonight. He's had 14 in the last 2 games. He got Luke right there and let everybody know about it. Then Michael tried to take this game over in the 4th. He had 27 points on the night. They're down by 5. Mookie Blaylock with an answer. Right by Ron Harper like he doesn't even care. 76-72. The game's 80-78. Rodman, keep your eye on him, bumps into Mutombo. Disregard the hoop by Michael Jordan. The game is not tied. It's still a 2-point game. Jordan for the win. And it won't go. Steve Smith running out the clock like the Falcons do in that building. Most of the time they're down, and there aren't nearly that many people in the Georgia Dome, but Steve Smith and the Atlanta Hawks are 5-0. They win this thing 80-78. Jordan 27-9-6. Mutombo 16-11 and his 6 blocks. The attendance 45,790. Where does that rank all time? It's number 5. Who's had more? Celtics and Pistons at the Silverdome. That's unbelievable. Almost 62,000. And you see the list of Silverdome getting 3 of those. And today at the Georgia Dome, the Bulls and the Hawks at 45,790. Onward we move to more highlights on an 11-game night. Seattle and Indiana playing at Market Square. Larry Bird looking to make it 2 straight. Reggie Miller from Mark Jackson, 22-9 with that one. He had 22 on the night. Gary Payton from that same distance. He had 24 on the night. Sonics on top 48-47. Indiana starts to open things up a little bit. Chris Mullin had 18 points on the night on 8 out of 12 shooting. They're up 72-64. It's a 7-point spread after 3 quarters when George Karl's guys get back in it. Greg Anthony to Detlef Schrempf, who had 16, 7, and 5. And then Indiana just gets flat sloppy down the stretch in a tie game. Mark Jackson can't handle the pass. Next trip down, Reggie Miller throws it away, and Hersey Hawkins picks it up. And that is that. 9 turnovers in the 4th quarter. Thus the look on Larry Bird's face as the Sonics win it 99-93. Payton, another big night. He's had a great start to this season. Reggie Miller turned his ankle the other day. It was a slight sprain. Back in there with 22 points. Rick Smits, 20 and 11. Vin Baker, 17 points and 11 boards for the Seattle Supersonics. The Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics playing at Fleet Center tonight. And we got some youngsters in the backcourt, including Brevin Knight and Chauncey Billups. Billups would finish with 14. Into the lane in a three-point play. Sean Kemp, 28 points, 15 boards, and a thunderous dunk. Antoine Walker's been the guy for Boston in the early going. He had 22 points and 11 boards and was in the right place right there to lay it in from D. Brown. Wesley Person, a three-point threat that Cleveland has needed. Hit 5 out of 12 tonight, had 26 points. And part of an 11-0 run, and Person was feeling it. And draining the three-pointer. And the Cleveland Cavaliers go to Boston and beat the Celtics. A 9-0 run in the final 4 minutes of the game tells the tale. Boston won on opening night. They haven't won since. They lose 96-92. Kemp with the 28-15. Antoine Walker 22-11 in a losing effort, and Ron Mercer with 16 points, the rookie for the Boston Celtics. We have just begun to scratch the surface here on Inside the NBA, and a couple of things we've seen tonight. Larry Bird, first-time coach. He will get used to losses of all kinds, but this one has to sting when you give the game away like that.
There's no excuse, especially, Ernie, for the play we just saw where the pass was right in Mark's hands, and it just went right through. That was an easy 2 points. And you lose your concentration later. Sometimes when you're not used to winning close games, you can not have the kind of confidence that you need, and they're going to have to get that back because there's a good team there in Indiana.
Meantime, the Chicago Bulls have been on the road twice, and they've lost them both. In Boston tonight at the Georgia Dome. And after the game, Dennis Rodman saying, I really wasn't into it. You know, I didn't really care. And that's exactly what Phil Jackson wants to hear, as he's trying to survive without Scottie Pippen right now. And Michael Jordan fired back and said, if you don't feel like being here, go home. What's your take on the situation?
I think he's getting tired of it, to be honest with you. I think he's getting worn out. I mean, he was a little bit that way with us in San Antonio 2-3 seasons ago.
More than a little bit at times, Bob.
At times. But, you know, there were a lot of things that surrounded his problems in San Antonio. But, you know, even when things were pretty calm with him, I mean, he didn't really every night want to play. I mean, there's a lot of things going on in his life, and, you know, maybe it's time for him to hang him up. But if I had to bet, he'll continue to play. It's too much money.
Bulls, yeah, it's a very good point. Bulls play in New Jersey tomorrow as the Nets try to stay unbeaten. When Inside the NBA continues, yes, they are the unbeaten New Jersey Nets. Now, would we still be able to say that at night's end after a showdown with Pat Riley's Heat? A true test for Chris Gatling and the guys as they take on the defending champs of the Atlantic. And Chuck Daly returns to the scene of his titles as the Magic hit the Motor City as part of our doubleheader. Highlights coming up. It's 1:30 in the East. Do you know where your highlights are? Yeah, they're here on Inside the NBA. For the Nets, it's their best start ever. Out of the chute, 3-0 with wins over the Pacers, Bucks, and Warriors. Tonight, their first division showdown with the team that won the division last year, the Miami Heat. Could they stand the Heat? John Calipari, best start ever for the Nets, looking to go 4-0. Sam Cassell, the Kendall Gill, who finishes. And Gill had 19 on the night. Tim Hardaway had a great first half. 16 points in the first 24 minutes, going with a reverse 49-45. Chris Gatling, what a workhorse he is, and he gets the steal. 7 straight points, part of a 17-6 run in the third period. Jason Williams, known for his rebounding, also putting up some points tonight. He had 18 points, 10 rebounds. Sam Cassell had 13 assists. And look at Chris Gatling, just muscle in there. 24 points, 12 rebounds. Chris liked it. His dad liked it. Pat Riley has that pain that starts just over my left eye and then extends to the back of my head. It's called a loss to the New Jersey Nets, who remain unbeaten. 99-87. The Nets are 4-0 for the first time in team history. Cassell, 18 points and 13 assists.